Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob, and today I'm going to attempt to customise this Hot Wheels hauler with, well, it's a Siku Hummer. This is a collaboration video with my friend Danny from Danny's Diecast Disasters, and we was talking, and I mentioned about kind of doing like a custom Hot Wheels, and he said let's do a hauler. And I know he's done a few of these videos, and they're, I watch them with amazement. I just think they are so cool. And I asked my son, "Do you have any of these haulers?" And I'm sure I see one. And it wasn't until I had finished this video that he come up with the actual hauler that I remember seeing. So this is not necessarily the hauler that perhaps I was intending to do, but it is a hauler, and my son now does love it. But yeah, this Hummer is a Siku brand, made in Germany. And I did wonder, I thought, of course, this needs to be militarized. And this hauler is already in a kind of a military, air surveillance kind of theme. And I said to my son, do you have one of these haulers? And I showed him some pictures and some of the videos that Danny has done. And he said, yeah, but I really like it. I don't want you to take it apart. And I said, but I'll paint it up how you want it, and it'll be for you. And I spoke to him about kind of doing some, originally like a ramp. So it'd be for stunts. But I don't know, the scale just wasn't right. But the Hummer, scale-wise, I just thought was perfect, and it just fit within those kind of rails on the back there. So perfect, it was just, it had to be. But taking this apart, it's just kind of hollowed out there in the plastic, quite light, a plastic base on the cab, but a very heavy metal kind of casted cab on here, which was pretty surprising, really, considering the rest of it. But anyway, I wasn't going to say, but this is now the second time that I'm going through this voiceover. I tend to do my voiceovers in a one take, but it kind of bit me on the bum today because I just finished the voiceover, and then my son, as I finished, I stopped the recording. My son rushed into the room, and he said, "This is the other Hot Wheels hauler that I have," and it was kind of really the one I wanted to do. But never mind, we've got something for a future video. And then in all that kind of confusion and excitement, I somehow managed not to save my one take recording. Never mind, here I am again. It's currently a Saturday afternoon, and this video will be going live on Sunday afternoon. And of course we are in lockdown here in the UK, so it's not like I can go out anywhere. It's been raining all day, so why not just talk to you beautiful people all over again for another 20 odd minutes. And I really do hope I get to save it this time. But anyway, we're taking this cab apart. As you can see, the two chrome pieces here, they are plastic underneath. And we'll be removing the chrome today because of the theme that we're going with. Is keeping with the kind of military theme, but my son, he wanted like, he wasn't interested in the British Army or the American Army. He wanted some baddies to, I don't know. So we've kind of gone with a generic military theme for some bad guys, and added some decals, or actually their children's tattoos later on, with skulls and lizards. And he's called this the Sklizzard Clan. Quite a mouthful, the Sklizzard Clan. There you go. But taking apart the Hummer here, the interior, basic, but a Hummer interior is basic, so it is what it is. The interior window here, I need to, as you can see, there's a couple of rollover posts, so we'll drill those out without trying to go through the roof. But it is like I say, it's like a military or camo themed vehicle. And I remember, this is a story. When I was in the military, I remember the first time we applied our camo face paint, and we was all in our late teens, early 20s, and I still remember, because I guess our only point of reference was Hollywood movies, watching Arnold Schwarzenegger perhaps in Commando and thinking that's how we apply our camo. And so people were coming out with perfect camo and symmetrical and perfect lines, and I remember being thrashed because in nature, lines are not symmetrical, camouflage is not perfect, and we were basically told to just smudge our faces all over the show so that it is true and correct. And I've always remembered that, and of course I take that to my kind of application today. But anyway, got the Hummer apart, the window section there finally coming off, and in good condition, so that needs no further work today. But the two main castings here go into the foot-long hot dog jar, covered in boiling water, and then in comes two tablespoons of caustic soda. Did you watch the little experiment video that I done? The last video was a 24 hours in caustic soda solution. I actually thought that video would be a bit of a flop, but actually seems to be pretty good. I think people have been interested in it. I wondered whether doing something other than just a custom or restoration, whether you guys would be interested. So I am glad that you did watch it. I do appreciate it. From that and from the comment section, I've kind of thought of another variation of that, which I will do soon. And but yeah, do keep your kind of experimental ideas coming, because I read all comments, and good and bad. But you may see something that you've asked for in an upcoming video. Not an upcoming video. I don't know. That sounds like something else. But anyway, whilst the caustic solution is doing its thing, we're not going to leave that for 24 hours today. It was probably in there for maybe half an hour. But we do have some boiling water here, and my intention is to remove this sticker. It's it's not a super old casting, of course. It's quite nice actually doing some modern castings every now and then, rather than the 40, 50, 60-year-old castings that I'm used to. But certainly this sticker on the side was coming apart, and I felt the heat from the hot water would really help to remove it. So yeah, one side done and the other side to come. And it didn't come off all in one nice piece. It's it's coming off a little bit by a little bit, and took certainly longer than I expected. But hey, I had time. This was, well, to be honest, I promised Danny. I said, look, I'll have this casting ready for a Sunday drop, no problem at all. And I work a full-time job, and life gets in the way. And so I did pull, not an all-nighter, but I was working on this one till 2:30 in the morning, trying to catch up with schedule. And of course Danny did put us on no pressure. It's ready when it was ready. He's always got a few things on the go, but for me a promise is a promise. I promised him for Sunday, so I made sure to stick to that. But the interior and the window section there, and as I clean up as I go, we're now looking, like I say, probably half an hour later. Doesn't look like too much is happening, although I can see the paint is bulging, so I'm thinking this is going to come off in sheets. And yeah, this is cooled off, and you can still see the chrome just coming away, there you go, from those plastic pieces. And then a few minutes later, after pouring them down the sink, got the grill here, That doesn't want to come out. There we go. Finally. And then, yeah, look at those. Looking like they just come out of the factory. And I'll paint those up. But the Hummer here, we don't have 100% paint removal today, but we certainly have a good chunk. Probably in the 90s. There's some, I guess you could say, paint holding on, but that's literally all it is, you know. There's only around a 5% of paint that's really stuck fast, and I thought what I'll do is I'll kind of take off all the loose paint, see what I'm left with, and you know, if there's 5% paint left, I could probably grind it away with the you know, the metal wire disc. But that was actually probably a wrong choice today, because it took me about another 20 minutes or so just to really grind that paint off. I'd have been much quicker just to have set up for another round of caustic solution, but never mind. I guess I've got to save myself a teaspoon of caustic soda for another day. But yeah, apologies if you can hear my children in the background. I'm kind of locked away in the loft, but it is during the day and my children are playing, my dogs are barking, my wife is hoovering and shopping and hopefully cooking. And you know, it's a Saturday afternoon. There's, unfortunately, with the rain all day, there's not a lot else I can do. I wish I was outside, but I don't like getting wet. But yeah, trying to flick off all the paint that's on this cab here. This really does make a right old mess, and after I took off all the paint, probably took me another 10 minutes just to clean up. And what I should have done, you see I've got all the bits and pieces at the back there that I've already cleaned once. I had to clean them all up again because I had all little spots of paint all over them. But yeah, still good fun. And let's get this finished up, otherwise we'll be here all day. So eventually we are ready for some black primer. On the Hummer here, it's now nice and shiny. And we'll give this the first coat. And looking good already in the black, but like I say, we're going to add some camo to that today. The cab here, I'm assuming this is just a kind of fantasy vehicle, not based on any true vehicle. If it is, I'd like to know what it is to do a bit of research. I quite like a truck. I have driven one, and you know, big old articulated lorry, and going forward you'd be so surprised. You know, you can't really feel all that weight and length behind you, but reversing it now, that's a different story. Absolute nightmare. I couldn't figure that out. So yeah, respect for all truck drivers there. So now hitting up the hauler section. Yeah, I've now, as I mentioned, I'd already just went through and done this kind of voiceover in one go. And as soon as I finished, my son had come and hit me up with this other hauler. What is this one? A prototype H24 Hot Wheels. I don't know what this is, but Highway Blast it's called. So you could probably expect to see that in another video in the future. And ultimately, that's maybe what I would have preferred to have done, but never mind. Just another video that we can all enjoy. So now that everything is in the black primer, we'll start using the Nuln Oil. Now, both castings are going to keep their original wheels, but they're too shiny for us in the theme that we're going to go with today. So we use the Nuln Oil, and I go with a couple of coats just to really, I guess, take the shine away from these wheels. With military and camouflage shine, or something, you know, reflective surfaces is probably the worst thing. And so it turns out this is not a one-take voiceover. I mentioned a little while ago I've had this cough, so I just had a bit of a coughing fit just now, but I did have a test for the COVID and it come back negative, so that's good news. But I've had a cough now for, well, since the 23rd of December. So we'll say it's over 3 weeks. So, I don't know. Hopefully it'll go soon. I mean, my wife hopes it goes soon, so it keeps her up most nights. That's the cough, that is. But anyway, we've done a little bit of Nuln Oil on the wheels, and we shall replace the shiny chrome with some matte silver on the exhaust and the grille. And these will get a little detail and Nuln Oil later on. Now we're using the camo colours, and this is I think it was like I can't remember the colour name, but you could probably pause it and have a look at that one. But what I noticed at this, I think it was a dark tan. Anyway, what I noticed is this paint come out at a huge. It just come out kind of at such a pace and really thick, so a little bit difficult to use this paint, to be honest, especially for these smaller castings. But then I would imagine that this paint is for this kind of application, so quite surprised really how thick and fast it really did come out. It come out so thick and fast that after the first kind of layer had dried, it started to almost kind of have like a crinkle effect or a bit of a crack in there, and I thought I'd have to start all again, but I thought, well, you know, let's see, and I tried to do a really thin coat, a second coat, and it kind of, I guess, got into all the little cracks and nooks and crannies and smoothed it out, so I got away with it. But yeah, it would be perhaps difficult to use this paint again. Maybe it's better used for, I don't know, landscapes or something. But it does look good whilst it's wet. And then we are, and I've never used a Humbrol acrylic before. They're always, I've got plenty of Humbrol enamels, but yeah, an acrylic. And you know, now that this is all dry, we shall head it up with some different colours. It's kind of like a tricolour for the camouflage. Apologies if I Had to kind of speed up through that little last bit about the camouflage. Another little coughing fit, that was all. I think I need a nice cup of tea. You know, wet the whistle. All this talking dries out the old throat, especially when you've got a bit of a cough. But yeah, so going back to what I mentioned earlier on about the camouflage, you know, I'm not going to put in any kind of symmetrical, perfect lines, just, you know, run it through in different bits. And I added a third colour, kind of like a lighter tan, and then covered the whole thing in a like a semi-gloss or a satin finish varnish to tie it all in. But anyway, a little reminder of what she looked like. And before I added a few little decals, this is the result. Ultimately, there's only one little man that I needed to impress with this one. I actually really like it, and I hope you guys do. But yeah, he picked out some of these little skull kind of decals, one for each part of the vehicle here, plus those lizards on the side. Like I said, this is the Sklizzard clan, those naughty military people. And my son said the kind of guys that would steal your lunchbox. Oh, very naughty. But I'd actually used some UV glue to put this base back. Obviously it fouled at the front here, so that now has been drilled, tapped and screwed, and that won't come apart again. But yeah, my son is already downstairs playing with this one. I kind of don't want to see it, considering the amount of hours I've already put into this thing. It's probably already bashed up and smashed up, but hey, that's what toys are there to be done, right? But look at that, it just fits perfect. I had to do this, didn't I? But anyway, please do make sure to check out Danny's video, Danny's channel. Subscribe to both of us. I'm sure you are already. But otherwise, you know, I hope you enjoyed this one. But anyway, big thanks to my amazing patrons. Cheers, guys. And of course, for everybody else that watch, please do subscribe, like, comment, all those good things. And both me and Danny will see you soon.